want to talk about from last night. Some good teams were in action, and we will start. Look at them. Just look at them. Pistons.
Oh, my.
Sure, the Thunder are injury depleted.
That's just good old bag work right there.
I love
He's really good.
Okay, Cunningham, 29-13, 8 turnovers. Okay, that's fine. Reminder, though, OKC, no SGA, no Jalen Williams, no Chet, no Hartenstein, no AJ, no Caruso, and Isaiah Joe didn't play in the second half. Hip thing, but those can be tricky games. So I'm proud of Detroit. They're also coming off of a weird loss to the Spurs. So let's talk about Cade's performance first. That's a nice little reminder of who he is.
It was a bounce back game to me, and the thing that made me proud, he set his tone on the defensive end. You know what I mean? Like, he had 3 steals, 3 blocks. But that's what you need, especially from your best player. If your best player is setting the tone on the defensive end, everything is going to flow for you on the offensive end. The funny thing is, I complained about how he started the San Antonio game. I was like, a free throw line floater as your first attempt in the game. I don't know about that if you're trying to catch a rhythm. This game, same exact shot to start the game.
That's weird.
Cashes it out. So I don't know if it's a thing for him to shoot the free throw line floater to start his games, but it works for him. But no, this was a statement. This was a statement game. You know, you have Wemby in town. You have the Spurs in town. One of the top teams in the West. You want to play your best. You want to send a statement. You know, they didn't have the greatest second half, and so then right after that game, you have OKC come in, another opportunity for you to make a statement against another top team in the West, and it goes your way. You know, obviously OKC had their fair share of injuries, but like you just mentioned, those games can trap you. Those can be trap games and put you in a position. So OKC going out having 4 guys go get 20 that's not their marquee guys, and they were damn near in their 3rd string yesterday, and they still were in a competitive position to win that game until Detroit decided it was enough. So great bounce-back game for Cade, nothing short of what we expect from him.
Yeah, this was a mature game. This is what you want to see from your best player. It's what you want to see from your MVP, and it's not to let things drag, and it's not to have multiple bad games, and he didn't allow that. And again, I don't care who is in for Oklahoma City Thunder. They're still a great defensive team. They still have guys and next man up mentality. And saw guys like Jalen Williams last night. By the way, congrats on career high, first ever 30-point game.
Okay.
That dude. But Cade Cunningham, he put that aside. He moved on. That's what you have to do in the NBA season. It's such a long season, and you have to have a short-term memory, and that's exactly what he did. Now, he did have 8 turnovers, so I'm going to nitpick a little bit on he needs to take care of the ball a lot better than he did last night. But again, that's what the Thunder do to you. They rush you. They force you to play faster than you're used to, and he's got to be more careful with the ball. But he did everything last night. He spoon-feeds Jalen Duren. Like, Jalen Duren's got to be the happiest guy on the planet, being able to play with this dude every single night, because not only is he a great two-way player and he can score in multiple different ways, he makes everyone around him better. I always forget to turn that off.
You're not good at this. It's fine.
It's our first day doing TV.
I know, it's just he's never done this before. Just why is it even on? Okay, so here's my question. Because, 5 of the top 6 scorers for OKC are not in this thing. And by the way, that's we can't talk about how deep they are as a team and then try to use it as an excuse. But that being said, if you're the Pistons, if you're JB, like, what are you sort of trying to learn from it being a little closer than maybe you should have been?
Well, I think you want to put them away early, right? You don't. This was a game. Like, they could have lost this game. If they get a couple of bounces the other way, they could have lost this game. But what's interesting to me is, I don't want to say it because the Thunder are so respected. I think they're like the kings of load management and not play. Like,
go on.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys. They sit guys.
Conspiracy theory.
I'm saying they sit guys that I promise you, if it was the playoffs or Game 7, could play every single night. Now, again, it's smart. It's a long season. They're deep. They're working all their guys in. They have the luxury to do that because they're such a deep team. But these guys, every single night, I don't know who. I don't know who. Like, if I was a gambling man, I could never bet on them because I don't know who's playing that night, and it doesn't matter. Again, that's kudos to their depth.
That's fine. Yeah.
But
the point.
Holy moly. I don't know who's going to play for the Thunder that night.
I'm sorry, did you holy moly us?
I did.
Wow,
and it's very interesting because, again, how do you scout for this team? Because you have to cover every single person on the roster.
I mean, Jerry McCain had 20 last
because you don't know who's going to play that night. And, again, it's great for them because they have that flexibility to do that. But I feel like they're not hurt. Like, if it was the playoffs right now, I think all of them would play.
Okay.
I think they have some injuries and some knick-knack things. But what they should be cautious of is rhythm. Like, we're getting to the nitty-gritty of the season, and you have a lot of your marquee guys out, and you have a lot of your role players out. You got to start building that rhythm, not only just for yourself. If you look around the league, a lot of teams, they're tooling up to get ready for a playoff run. Everybody is starting to look better. Like, you look at Detroit. They might not have their best game the other day, But today they respond, right? And you look at Denver, they've had their struggles, but they responded. All of these different teams right around you in your circumference, they are getting ready for a deep playoff run. And so for us, it kind of looks like, you know, OKC is a little bit behind the 8 ball. And a lot of that starts with SGA and the injury that he's dealing with. And I feel like once he's back in the lineup, everything else will kind of fall into place. But this is around the time, February going into March, you want to see your team as a whole and start putting together the right pieces and start putting together, you know, the right lineups and seeing what you got, especially when you go out and get a Jared McCain. Isaiah Joe is coming into his own. Wiggins is coming into his own. You have so many guys giving you good production. You want to see where all of these things fit when you have everybody available in the lineup.
Yeah, this should be when they're playing their best basketball, right? And like,
they're ready.
Don't look now. The Spurs are 2 games behind them,
and
this is a team that we're talking about a historic run, possibly break the record, unbelievable start. Now they're kind of going through some adversity here, but again, I want them to put their foot on the gas. I want them to play every single game forward.
Let me ask you this, because they know what they have.
I think rhythm is a thing, like having that consistency, that consistent of rotations and lineups, and to understand your role when it comes to playoff times. Like a lot of these guys, it's great to get the minutes now in the playoffs or the regular season. In the playoffs, they're not going to be getting that, of course, unless there's an injury or something or crazy foul trouble. But I'd like to see their main guys be their main guys and play.
Look, I can see both sides of the coin on this one, just because you can buy yourself a little rest. You can do all. They're a championship team, so they know what's going to be returning.
And they can afford to do it.
Exactly.
But we've played on teams, and one of the the biggest things that coaches say is you can't flip the switch on. You can't turn it on. Like, you got to have it on at all times. OKC can afford to flip the switch on, but the only problem I have with that is y'all got to read the room. Everybody around you has flipped the switch on already. So you don't want to be late to the party when everybody around you is already ready to roll. And so, granted, I feel differently about it than Chandler. I think these guys do have legitimate little knick-knack injuries and this and that. Obviously, SGA's been serious. We're going on a month now, not seeing him back, not seeing him on the floor. But you still, going into March, you want to have your team whole and collective and ready to roll, especially in some of these marquee matchups. You know, they don't need any of these teams to be a measuring stick for them, but it'll be good to see. Just let me see what's going on in the East, just in case this is a potential finals matchup.
It's like an F1 race, like you're managing your pit stops.
So if I'm OKC and seeing this after last night with everybody that we had out of the lineup, we feel pretty good about where we stand. But again, that can be fool's gold because you don't know. Different lineups create a different basketball game, so you truly don't know.
100%. On the OKC side, they're thinking, look, we're getting all these guys experience. We're getting them a bunch of reps that we can't emulate in practice. So it is great for their development and their experience and getting them these minutes. But if there's one team in the NBA that wants that #1 seed and is on their ass, it's the San Antonio Spurs. And so, like, they are sitting there, and they're not going to do this. They want that 1 seed. They are going to be hunting.
Do they, or is there a better road
seed.
to the finals if you're...
Well, I don't think you can look at it like that, especially how deep the Western Conference is, and you don't know what's going to happen in the play-in. Like, so, like, what, you're going to try and get second seed?
Well, I don't say you're not. I'm not saying you're trying, but like necessarily, it's not a bad thing to be second.
You can't play with the game like that. But I am just saying, like the Spurs, I feel like they are like taking it more seriously in a way.
No, they're in full.
Like they are in go mode.
But we're talking about the Western Conference. You want the #1 overall for the finals. If you're going to have an opportunity to win a championship, you want to start it on your home floor. You want to have that advantage. And Detroit is in that conversation. So if guys are available, they should have played, and I think they would have played. So that's why I said I disagree with Chandler there, because Detroit's right there on you trying to get the #1 overall seed. And with that being said, I think they genuinely do have some issues. But, like, again, I'm going to reiterate it. I think they need to be whole at this time of the season, because a lot of these teams are gearing up and they're readying up, and you just don't want to be late.
What is there, 22 more games left?
It's time to go.
It's go time.
By the way, I want to get to the Spurs thing in a second, and specifically to the Thunder, but real quick, if this was a finals, like if this is what we ended up with in the finals, who are you taking OKC for sure?
It's a high chance this is the finals.
I know, that's what I'm saying, like this legitimately.
I'm taking OKC. Again, we haven't even seen, we have a small sample size of their team full and complete, and again, they can afford that luxury of foul trouble or, you know, deeper rotation or deeper bench, and you can go to guys like Wiggins that are proven, Isaiah Joe. This guy, Jared McCain, who, again, I've said this all the time, this guy was a runaway MVP, Rookie of the Year last year until he got hurt. He is a stud. They just got him for like a first-round pick next year and a couple other second-round picks. It's crazy how deep they are. So Yes, I still think he's the favorite. Yes, I still think SGA is the MVP favorite. They're just
However,
now he's getting close to the game minimum, so I think the Thunder. I think they need to put it in gear here.
The Spurs thing, they did win their 10th straight last night up north in old Toronto. 2 games back, ladies and gents.
It's crazy. Look at that.
What kind of chance are we giving the Spurs to finish in that one spot come April?
I think high, Lou. I hate to say it.
I think high.
Go
I don't
on.
think they actually get it, but they've put themselves in a position.
And they do have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, and
For real.
That's a fact. They do have the tiebreaker.
You have the tiebreaker twice. That's how much they have the tiebreaker.
They also have the 5th toughest remaining schedule, and the Thunder have the 21st.
Yeah, that part's lame. We don't love that, but yeah.
Yeah, I put it high. I give them a great opportunity, but I don't think they actually do it though.
I think everyone's talking how great the Thunder are, and the Spurs kind of had their number this year. I think the Spurs, like I said earlier, I think they want it. Like, I think they are going to be gunning for that #1 spot, while the Thunder are going to try and coast and be fully healthy come playoff time. I don't think either of them care really, because 1 or 2 seed, I think they're the best 2 teams in the conference.
Yep.
But I think the Spurs want it more than the Thunder. I really do.
Isn't that great?
I mean, for you, sure.
By the way, Friday night, kind of fun, because OKC hosts Denver, and the Pistons are going to host Cleveland. So Friday night hoops is going to be
Great games.
Good watches for both of them. Speaking of, Boston was in Denver last night.